Thank you for listening to Stories at Pink Me Meow Audio. Hope you enjoy the story. My younger brother had a crush on someone early and was called to his parents. I never expected that his homeroom teacher would be the person I loved in high school. Is it because of your family's early love? No, it's still thanks to good teaching. After I instinctively retorted, the whole office fell silent. I am not... Teacher, let me explain. If I had known I would meet Chu Kai again today, I absolutely would not have rushed to school with a body full of hot pot smell and a bare face like that. The most embarrassing thing is not meeting your ex, but when I saw him again, he was cleaner and more handsome than before. And you weren't wearing makeup. She is Dayap Nyen's parent. Chu Kai's voice was cold. I am her homeroom teacher. Even though Chu Kai and I have been apart for many years, we probably won't not recognize each other. Chu Kai and I have known each other since grade 12. He is a good student, I am a bad student. That year he tried to pull my score up quite a bit. We ended up getting into 2 universities in the same city, but one school is in the south, one school is in the north of the city. Taking this subway has to transfer 3 lines. Round trip takes 3 hours. In addition, after entering school, he was busy doing experiments with the professor, participating in competitions, and had even less time for me. At that time, I was young and immature and just said the words, break up. In the following years, although we lived in the same city, we never met again. Unexpectedly met again in a situation like this. My younger brother fell in love early. I was the one called to the meeting. Parents. Of course, in front of the teacher, I had to lower my voice, be more polite. Hello, Mr. Chu. I am Dayap Nyen's sister, Dayap Chen. Since I was little, my playful nature has made me go to the office many times. But this is the first time I feel so confused. Thinking of this, I want to beat my brother even more. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be in this situation. My parents are both away on business, otherwise it wouldn't be my turn to lose face. The other side's parents also came. I faced both of them alone, apologizing continuously. Luckily, they were quite reasonable. Chu Kai gave us the 2 children's achievement records. Now is grade 12, only a few months left until university entrance exam. Children's psychology is very important. I have talked to you 2 before. Before the exam, you will focus on studying. Absolutely not let it affect the results. Today, I invited all the parents to come, and I also hope that everyone will cooperate and guide the children well. I held the report card and muttered, I told you, that kid is like being injected with stimulants these days, staying up all night to do his homework every day. It's really like the style of my time. Chu Kai paused for a moment, then finally raised his head to look at me. Your family is the one who fell in love early, Yafeng. Why does the sentence sound so harsh? Seeing his cold black eyes, my mind suddenly went blank, and I instinctively refuted. No, it's all thanks to the teacher's good teaching. There was complete silence. The entire office seemed to freeze. The parents on the other side and the other teachers looked at me as if they had seen a ghost, staring at me with wide eyes and open mouths. Then I finally realized what I had just said. Teacher Chu, I didn't mean that. Don't misunderstand. At that moment, the parents on the other side received a call and left first. Now it was just me and Chu Kai. The atmosphere was extremely awkward. I also prepared to leave quickly. Chu Kai stood up to see me out the door. Each step was extremely awkward. When we got outside, just as I thought I had escaped, Chu Kai suddenly opened his mouth, his voice indifferent. I didn't teach him to actively pursue others. The person who actively pursued Chu Kai was me. In high school, Chu Kai was the dream man of many female students. I am different. I love publicity. The whole world knows how much I like you and how hard you are to pursue. So when we were together, everyone was gaping. He was just like when I first confessed to him, calm and indifferent, but an unknown fire was burning in my heart. My mind was heating up, and I blurted out, Teacher Chu, to be honest, it's true that I pursued you back then, but I was the one who broke up with you. As soon as I said that, I immediately regretted it. He was no longer my boyfriend, but my younger brother's homeroom teacher. I was really tired of living to say such a disrespectful thing. Luckily, my useless brother finally showed up and pulled me out of my misery. Sis, this brat had been standing outside the office this whole time. I hurriedly said, Teacher Chu, you don't have to see me off anymore. I'll go talk to Yaoran for a bit and then go home. My friend is waiting outside the school gate. After saying that, I didn't dare to look at his face and quickly pulled Dayap Mien to turn into the hallway. He looked at me confused. Sister, what are you so nervous about? I feel like I've been stepped on. Who's nervous? Dayap Mien is helpless. I've known you for 17 years. I'm not sure how you are. She said while turning her head back. Our homeroom teacher, isn't that scary? Dayap Mien, you are the one who fell in love early. You're not ashamed and you dare to argue with me? Dayap Mien? But I also fell in love early. I've never seen you feel ashamed. Thank you. My heart hurts. I'm insensitive, so now retribution has come. Your homeroom teacher is the person I fell in love early. Dayap Mien was so surprised that he froze and put on a pained face. You're done for. I played hard, not caring about your life or death. You weren't scared of being forced to fall in love early, right? And how did I know that Chu Kai was your homeroom teacher? After leaving the school gate, I climbed straight into the car parked on the side of the road. My best friend Lu Feifei looked at me. Oh, you got scolded by the teacher. Today is the right day. We went upstairs to eat together. After eating, she waited for me on the way to school. I collapsed in the passenger seat. Life had no regrets, not being scolded, but being 1,000 times more terrifying. His homeroom teacher is Chu Kai. Lu Feifei moaned for a moment, then screamed 3 seconds later, "Oh my God!" I covered my ears and she pulled my hand away. Chu Kai? Chu Kai. The guy you had a crush on early in high school? I gloomily replied with an ugh. Lu Feifei covered her mouth. It's over. It's over. Dayap Mien is dead. His sister dumped his homeroom teacher. How will he survive in the future? I have no one feel I am also very miserable. Your butt? Lu Feifei glared at me. The cold male goddess was defeated by him and then dumped by him. Who's happier than you? Okay. Although it doesn't sound very pleasant, Chu Kai's face and figure do deserve that compliment. It's been so many years, don't mention it again. Maybe he saw that I was really gloomy. Lu Feifei tried to suppress her curiosity and changed the subject. Oh right, this Saturday, Sunwon and Li Ziheng are getting married. Are you going? They are both our high school classmates. The important thing is that Li Ziheng is close to Zhu Kai, so he will definitely invite you. Or should you tell them that you are not going? Suddenly, Zhu Kai's cold and calm appearance just now appeared in my mind. I don't know what force urged my heart to keep churning. We are all adults. What's in the past? Moreover, he is your younger brother's homeroom teacher. Do you have to hide forever? On Saturday, I changed into a new dress, put on light makeup, and went to the hotel to hold the wedding banquet. The bride and groom were standing at the door to welcome the guests. I gave Feng Bip a red envelope and smiled in congratulations. I wish the two of you a happy wedding. The bride looked behind me and said in surprise, Ah, Chen Chen, are you going with Zhu Kai? I turned around, only to discover that Zhu Kai was a few steps away from me, walking this way. Today, you wear white shirt and black pants, simple and neat, tall and outstanding figure. There are people who can easily become the center of attention just by standing still. Zhu Kai is that kind of person. He seemed to have heard those words as well, raising his head to look this way, black eyes, black hair, the whole person exuding a cold and unapproachable aura.
As soon as our eyes met, I immediately turned away and hurriedly explained, No. The bride was a bit stunned, just about to ask something. The groom gently pulled her hand and then smiled as he walked over to pick up Choochki. "Mr. Chooki, welcome!" I hurriedly walked inside and quickly saw Liu Feifei, who had arrived early, waving at me. "Blanket this side!" I rushed over, thinking I was saved, but when I saw the high school classmates' scoreboard, my heart instantly turned cold. I looked up and saw familiar faces. Me. Choochki came to the table. There were only 2 empty seats, one on my left side and one opposite me. The class monitor on this side has a guy who is familiar with you standing up and calling. They probably already knew what happened at the gate. If they weren't blind, they would have seen that we had broken up. Footsteps approached. I stared at the cup of tea in front of me, not knowing why I started to get nervous. Then he came around behind me, crossed to my left side, and sat down opposite me. The whole table was silent for a second. Luckily, the guy who invited Choochki to sit down was very good at stirring up the atmosphere. The party quickly came back to life. "I heard the class president now teaches at Nyatchang? That school is a provincial key school. It's super hard to get in there. As expected of a class monitor, a good person is good wherever he goes. Ha ha ha. Hey, I didn't expect Li Tuhang and Tan Yuan to be the first couple in our class to get married. I thought it would be the class of people who suddenly realized their mistake and immediately shut up." Several glances began to glance back and forth between me and Choochki. Back then, Choochki and I were together in a big way. The whole school knew. No one expected us to break up like this in the end. I unconsciously raised my head to look at him. The man opposite me had his eyes slightly lowered. He was pouring tea. The lines from his eyebrows to the bridge of his nose were smooth and perfect. It seemed like all the gossip around him was irrelevant. I felt a little stuffy, so I made an excuse to go to the bathroom. Liu Feifei texted me on WeChat. "Tell me the truth. With a man like that, don't you regret breaking up? Why don't you get back together?" Outside the bathroom came a whisper. "Unexpectedly, Choochki and Deepchan broke up. How much effort did Deepchan spend chasing him back then? People like Choochki can have anything they want. They were not at the end of their rope." "That's right. Besides, I think Choochki doesn't like her very much either. Maybe at that time he was pursued too much, so he agreed and then dumped her." The truth is that adults still love to talk about old stories. Even though I broke up with Choochki, the rest of what they said was not wrong. I typed a few words in reply and started blabbering. To be clear, I don't need him first. If I want to get back together, he has to be the one to pursue me. Willow Feifei Peak. Liu Feifei's great ambition, touching people's hearts, daydreaming. With great difficulty, I waited for those people to finish speaking before slowly walking out of the room. When I returned to the table, a few people were already a little tipsy and were chatting away. I sat down to continue eating. Liu Feifei pinched me under the table. "Why are you blocking me?" I glanced at her, not knowing myself. "Hey, Deep Chan, someone's calling me." I raised my head and saw Chan On-eng, one of the 3 girls who had just been talking in the bathroom. When we were in high school, we had a little conflict. If it weren't for today's wedding, we would never have sat at the same table. She used to like Tham Choochki. After knowing that he and I were together, she openly and secretly played birdie tricks on me several times. She smiled and asked, "Is this a good idea? Are you single now?" The table was silent. "Already asked and still pretending to be polite, don't you think it's redundant?" She added, "I have a few single friends I'd like to introduce you to." I smiled, "Thanks, but no need. My aesthetic eyes are a bit high." The whole table became even more silent. The smile on her face almost fell off, but Choochki was a live-in witness, sitting right here. She couldn't refute.
Pausing for several seconds, she rolled her eyes and continued. That's true, but I'm sure you haven't found anyone to love in the past few years, right? What do you mean? I can't find anyone better than Chuchki? Or like she said before, only the blind Chuchki likes me moderately and have loved a few people? I replied that one was that after breaking up with Chuchki, I impulsively accepted the pursuit of a senior from the same school. As a result, on the third day, he wanted to hold my hand, making me feel nauseous, and then we broke up. Another was that after graduation, my aunt dragged me on a blind date. Not even on the third day, I had just had my second meal and saw him talking nonstop about me quitting my job and becoming a housewife after marriage. I blocked him. From a certain perspective, I wasn't wrong about saying a few people. Immediately, everyone's reactions were very special. I broke the silence laughing and saying, "People, you have to try them out to know who is the most suitable." Chuchki heard that and raised his head to look at me. I really couldn't stand this strange atmosphere anymore and decided to take the initiative to attack. "Teacher Chukchi, are you right?" "No?" Chan Oning's expression almost cracked. "You call the class president Mr. Cha? Oh, I forgot to say, Mr. Cha is now my brother's homeroom teacher. We just met a few days ago." Listen, what is a quality ex-lover? What is shaking hands and reconciling with the past of the youth what is not knowing? Chuchki put down his teacup. His fingers were slender as you'd, his voice cold. I have only ever loved one person. The air seemed to freeze. At that moment, I felt like Chuchki was intentionally stabbing me in the back, making me a bad girl that everyone despised. But at the same time, my heart couldn't help but beat wildly. How many years have we broken up? With Chuchki's conditions, if he wanted to, he could date as many girls as he wanted. It wouldn't be a problem. But he said he only knew one person. Just as I was thinking about something, the bride and groom came to offer drinks, and the previous topic was immediately dropped. The party ended, and everyone left one by one. I saw Chan On-eng approach Chuchki, her voice sweet as money. "Class monitor, my nephew is about to take the high school entrance exam and wants to apply to Nyatchung. Can we add him on WeChat? I'll ask you later if there's something convenient." A far cry from when he was talking bad about me in the bathroom. What are you trying to do? I thought people couldn't see it. I walked faster, not wanting to hear Chuchki's answer, but his cold voice still rang out clearly. "I teach grade 12 now, not in charge of middle school admissions. If you have any questions, you can call the school's admissions office and ask." Chan Oneng was embarrassed, smiled awkwardly, and nodded. Oh, that's fine." It must be admitted that the class president is still popular and his ability to reject people is becoming more proficient. Liu Feifei clicked her tongue. "You walked so fast, I didn't see how ugly Chan Eng's face was at that time." I looked for the car and replied, "It's normal. If he didn't know how to refuse, his WeChat friend list would be full by now. I remember that time because I asked for his queue number, I left a whole week of soybean on his table. At that time, my living expenses were tight. I had to go hungry for a whole week. I really don't understand where I got the courage and strong will to pursue him so persistently. It's true that he also said, in all these years, I've only known one person." Liu Feifei said this, gave me a thumbs up, her face full of dissatisfaction. "Comrade Ye Zhen, you're really good. Before, I thought you were joking when you said you would make him come back and pursue you, but now I believe it. It's possible. Here's my car." I pressed the key, talking nonsense as I drove. I didn't have... Not that easy to chase him? I suddenly felt something was wrong, stopped and slowly turned to look at the car next to me. The car window was half down. The man's profile was bright and handsome. It seems like he had just finished making a phone call when he heard a sound and turned to look at Chuchki. I was frozen on the spot. He raised his eyelids slightly, his voice calm.
I have to pursue you. I was like a dead body rising. No, I really didn't mean that. Don't misunderstand. I mean, I'm actually pretty easy to follow. No, I mean, it's not hard for you to pursue me. It's not right either. Under the man's calm and emotionless gaze, I was so desperate that I just wanted to scratch the wall. Just then, Lu Feifei arrived. Before she could hear the situation clearly, she was immediately stunned when she saw that Zhou Qi was also present. I tried to signal with my eyes, "Take me away quickly." Lu Feifei's eyes glanced between me and Zhou Qi. Suddenly understanding, she immediately spoke up. "Oh right, I suddenly remembered that I have work at the company. I have to go home first." "Blanket, your car broke down, right? Or let the class president take you home first." "Lu Feifei, you are dead for sure." Unfortunately, Lu Feifei completely did not understand the signal I was sending. Said and ran away. I took a deep breath, gritted my teeth, and opened the car door. Zhou Qi asked coldly, "Isn't the car broken?" I gritted my teeth and endured. "I just touched the steering wheel and it seems to be working again." "Zhou Qi, are you sure?" "Of course it is. I just took it in for maintenance a few days ago, otherwise I wouldn't have let Lu Feifei take me to school that day." Yes, it can run," I said as I fastened my seatbelt, intending to disappear on the spot. Then, Zhou Qi got out of the car, stood outside the door, and knocked on the window. "Then please wait for me a bit. My car is broken." I felt that Zhou Qi was teasing me and was about to refuse when he continued. The insurance company's people came, so it turned out that his car was really broken. So he was calling the insurance just now. It didn't seem reasonable to refuse now, but with our current relationship, it wasn't reasonable either. After Zhou Qi finished talking to the insurance company, he received another phone call. He frowned. "I know, we'll be there soon." When he turned around, I opened my mouth to tell him to call a car or find someone else to help, but he said, "It takes half an hour from here to the third hospital. We should go quickly." I was confused. "What are you doing at the third hospital?" Zhou Qi looked at me. Ye Ran had a stomachache in the middle of class. Dr. Trung Yi had acute appendicitis and had already sent her to the third hospital. My heart skipped a beat. When we arrived at the hospital, Ye Ran was already in the operating room. The middle-aged man who brought him was the school doctor, and the young girl seemed to be the boy's teacher. Seeing me and Zhou Qi coming together, both of them looked suspicious. The teacher looked at me a few times and asked softly, "Teacher Chu, this is Deep Nian's older sister?" Zhou Qi said few words but meant much. He also did not explain why I went with him. How was Deep Nian's situation? The teacher explained that while studying math, Deep Nian suddenly had a severe stomachache. Dr. Vuong said it was an emergency, so we brought him here immediately. He's been in for a while now, should be done soon. Zhou Qi nodded. Seeing that I was too nervous, he lowered his head and softly said to me, "Sit down and rest for a bit." I shook my head and refused to leave. "I'll stay here and look after her." Zhou Qi paused for a moment. His voice lowered a few parts, carrying a strange sense of comfort. "Don't worry, acute appendicitis is a minor surgery. It's fine." As soon as the words fell, the other two people were surprised, especially the teacher. Her gaze lingered on me for a few more seconds. I no longer had the mind to care. My mind only thought of Ye Ran in the operating room. My heart felt like it was on fire. Perhaps because I came too quickly, the weather was cold and I was sweating profusely. Standing still in one place, the wind in the hospital corridor blew past. I couldn't help but pinch myself. At that moment, my shoulders felt heavy. The familiar faint smell of alcohol mixed with the warmth enveloped me. Neither Zhou Qi nor I drank alcohol. It was just that on our clothes there was a faint smell of alcohol from the wedding banquet, but it carried a scorching heat. A small spark flared up, rapidly spreading like a wildfire. I turned my head to look, just in time to meet Zhou Qi's eyes. He said, "Both of your parents are out of town. If you also fall ill, there will be no one to take care of her." I immediately sobered up again. "Say, thank you." An hour later, Ye Ran's surgery was completed smoothly.
The boy was taken to the hospital room. I went to the hospital to check in, then called my parents and reassured them that I would be fine after a few days of care. Nothing serious. After everything was done, I returned to the hospital room and saw Chuki standing next to the bed telling Yeran something. During this time, just rest assured and recuperate. Don't worry about your studies. I will send you notes and questions. Time in grade 12, every minute and every second is very precious. I looked at that scene and suddenly felt a little panicked. He now looked exactly like the way he used to urge me to study, but there was something different. With Yeran, he was clearly much more gentle and tolerant. That year I studied so hard that my mind was about to explode. I just wanted to escape and go out and play. I had to beg him for a long time before he agreed to let me hold his hand. 10 papers for a handshape? I am really grateful. Thinking about this, I feel sad again. Chuki finished talking and stood up to rest well. He left the room in time, leaving my sister and I some privacy, but my little brother didn't know anything. As soon as the person left, he looked at me meaningfully and opened his mouth to question. Tell me, why are you with my homeroom teacher? I have a cold face. Yeran, did you forget? I'm your sister. Yeran just finished surgery. His face is still a bit pale, but his fighting ability is not affected. I don't forget that you fell in love early and then dumped him. The appendix is gone, but the energy is still abundant. It seems there really is nothing to worry about. Yeran, you better treat your dear sister well. Otherwise, these few days in the hospital might be a bit difficult for you. I finished speaking and stood up to leave. Oh, Mrs. Yeran, you call me back. What do I turn around for? He coughed awkwardly and smiled flatteringly. Can you help me with something? What? When you go to school to get my books, remember to tell Thuhyu that I'm fine and will get better soon. Thuhyu was the girl that Deepmian likes. I saw her picture in her school bag. I was speechless. Why are you so nosy? Deepmian still shamelessly argued, I'm afraid they will worry. I was stunned. Okay, I know. Thanks. Deepnian was happy, then added nervously, but sister, you and our teacher probably don't have any more possibilities, right? I gave him a murderous look. Deepnian was silent for a moment, then said, anyway, there are a lot of people who like him. Just in my school alone, there are already quite a few. If you want to get back together with him, it's not impossible, but you have to make sure that before I take the university entrance exam, the two of you can't break up. I calmly said, Deepnian, you should feel lucky that today you went into the operating room and used your appendix to exchange for your dog's life. Today is really special. I left the hospital room intending to go out and get some fresh air. Otherwise, sooner or later, this rich fate would cause my blood pressure to rise. Walking to the corner of the dimly lit stairwell, I sighed and rubbed my stinging eyes. Just then, I heard footsteps approaching. When I raised my head, I discovered that Chuki was also there. He was smoking, the red ash appearing and disappearing in the darkness. He leaned half his body against the wall, his whole body cold and lonely. Spotting me, he turned his head to look back, then extinguished his cigarette. No one knew that Chuki, who once was a typical good student in high school, also knew how to smoke. One time, he went up to the terrace to smoke, and I caught him, but he remained as cold as ever, not bothering to see if I reported him or not. I asked him, is smoking fun? He did not answer, just turned and walked away. After we were together, I brought it up again, curious to try it out. He didn't agree, but after that, he didn't smoke anymore.
Unexpectedly, I'm smoking again now. Well, we broke up a long time ago anyway. I was about to ask when he was free so I could go to school to get things for Geep Nian, when Chuki suddenly walked in front of me. Blanket. He called me by name for the first time after meeting again, no longer the rigid way of calling me by my full name. Why are you crying? He stood so close to me that I could feel his breath as he said that. At that moment, I suddenly felt panic, like I had returned to the old days when we were still together. Only then did he call me that. Actually, at first, Chuki always seriously called me Dietchen. I was not happy, deliberately approached, pointed at the book, and seriously explained to him, Chuki, haven't you ever learned this sentence? Dao Chi loves you, Ki Diep, and I love you. The sun is married. Niki's family. You're mine, I'm yours. We are destiny. We are fate. Understand? At that time, young Chu-Ki was rarely teased by me until he lost his temper. His ears turned red. Diep Chen is blanket. Chen is Chan blanket. He was silent for a long time, finally giving in, calling out in a low voice, Chan Tren, I liked you first, and I worked hard to pursue you. So most of the time, I'm the one taking the initiative. And this is one of the few times I have the upper hand. Of course, I won't let this opportunity slip by, happily showing off, wishing I could announce it to the whole world. I rested my chin on my hand and looked at him, unable to help but laugh. Chu, you are so good. Chu-Ki immediately stopped eating, and after a long time, he gave me a stack of exam papers. Finish this, I'll check when I'm done. Well, memories can make people better, but clearly not every scene is worth putting a glitter filter on. I was going to say I wasn't crying, but somehow feeling his breath so close, I changed my words. You don't quit smoking anymore? Yes. Chu-Ki was silent for a second, then said indifferently, tried it, couldn't give up. I was stunned. Oh. The space became quiet again. The silence seemed to birth a kind of ambiguity that was difficult to say. I know the distance between us is too close. I don't step back, neither does he. Their breaths intertwined, a distance that could be touched if one reached out. Teacher, Chu, a female voice suddenly rang out from outside. Are you here? We should go now. The research meeting is about to begin. The strange atmosphere was broken. I suddenly woke up, quickly took off my jacket and gave it to him. Thank you, Mr. Chu. The noise in the hallway suddenly stopped. Chu-Ki paused for a moment, looking deeply into my eyes. The moment our eyes met, I knew for sure that he had discovered that I was not crying. I suddenly felt a little confused. Did he think I was pretending just now? But he didn't say anything, just paused for a second as if he had just come back to his senses, and then quickly looked away, took his coat, and turned to walk away. I just remembered what I was going to ask. Then, on Monday, I'll go to school to help Diep Nien pack her things. Chu-Ki responded with an sound without turning back. I instinctively looked, but unexpectedly, the teacher had not left yet. Is she waiting for Chu-Ki? Not knowing what she said, Chu-Ki nodded slightly, and she smiled. Only then did I realize she was very beautiful, gentle, intellectual, and kind. Lu Feifei was right. A man like Zhao Qi had too many women trying to approach him. I slapped myself in the face. Diep Chen, wake up. You are just a small turning point in someone's impetuous youth. Don't be sentimental because of a friendly call, thinking that he will never forget you. My parents rushed back from far away at night. I stayed up for 2 days and finally got to go home and get some rest. But as soon as I lay down on the bed, I couldn't sleep, so I had to call Lu Feifei. Fifi, I can't sleep. Lu Feifei's voice was vague and resentful. Diep Chen, did you forget that Mai is Monday? Do you know how precious sleep is to us office workers? I ignored the second half of her sentence. That's right. Tomorrow, Monday, I still have to go to school to get books for Diep Nien. What happened to Liu Feifei? I'm sure the homeroom teacher will take me there. Anyway, I've never been to his class and don't know where he sits. Do you think that is too much trouble? Lu Feifei silent for a moment, then made a decisive statement. If you want to meet a man, just say it. Don't waste my time.
Do you know how expensive eye cream is these days? I immediately objected. Who said I wanted to meet Chu Qi? Lu Feifei replied, when did I mention Chu Qi's name? Women at night really lose their minds. Okay, I'm going to sleep, I said as I was about to hang up. Lu Feifei refused. Hey, you're running away? Halfway? Honestly, this time your brother was hospitalized, they were very attentive and kind. Plus that face, those long legs, you really won't be moved? I hugged the pillow tightly and said nothing. Lu Feifei spoke more and more excitedly. If you ask me, I will say, fate is hard to find. Now that you're both single, why don't you just pull him back? I sighed. Oh, it's over between us. Lu Feifei was stunned. Why? I touched my left knee lightly, where there was a scar about 3 centimeters long. I guess I never told you why I broke up with Chu Qi, right? Lu Feifei nodded. I wanted to ask, but you didn't want to say, so I didn't force you. I just think that someone like you writes him so much and decides to break up. There must be a reason. I turned around and looked at the moonlight quietly pouring through the windowsill, softly saying, Nam University. Our club organized a mountain climbing trip. I unfortunately slipped and fell down the slope. My body was bruised in many places. Lu Feifei was immediately surprised. What? Why didn't you ever tell me? Actually, the injury was not serious, but I texted Chu Qi that time. I knew he was busy, but he didn't reply all day. I called him more than 10 times, but he didn't pick up. I waited until 4 a.m. the next day to receive his WeChat message. He told me to get some rest. He is busy, so come later. There was complete silence on the other end of the line. I hugged my pillow tighter. Actually, that was many years ago. I have even forgotten the specific details. Now it can also be told in a calm tone like that. But hey, I've heard him say he's very busy so many times. When other people are taken out by their boyfriends, he is very busy. When I was injured in the hospital, he was still very busy. You're busy, so busy that there's not even a little bit left to love me, not even a little bit. This feeling is what I tried to pursue. From beginning to end, Chu Qi was always in an unbeatable position. I can't force you to love me. I can only choose to continue or give up. I like him very much, but I also get tired. My brother just finished his surgery and asked me to tell the girl he likes that he's okay so she doesn't worry. But Chu Qi and I are not like that. At that time, I sat in the hospital holding the phone for Mr. Wen for a day and a night. Like people say, you don't like me enough. So after receiving that message, I said goodbye, then immediately blocked and deleted all contact. I was not important, so I chose to withdraw. Second, I intentionally asked for leave to go to school. When I arrived at class 12A1, Chu Qi had just finished his weekly meeting with the students. I knocked on the door. Hello, Mr. Chu. I came to get Diep Nian's phones. The entire class turned to look at me. Chu Qi nodded. The second row, last seat was hers. I walked over and just now discovered this kid sitting right behind Thui Hu. The little girl opened her bright eyes and looked at me. I looked through my books and smiled at her. Just then, a male student next to her asked, Sister, is Diep Nian feeling better now? I secretly praised her in my heart, then winked at Thui Hu and said with a smile, The surgery went very smoothly, and I will be discharged from the hospital and return to school very soon. The girl smiled softly, her cheeks slightly pink. I finished cleaning up Diep Nian's stuff. The bell just rang for class. Chu Qi and I left the classroom. As soon as we stepped out, we saw the teacher we met at the hospital last time. Oh, right, she's Diep Nian's math teacher. It looks like the next class is hers. Seeing me, she was a bit stunned, nodded, then turned to Chu Qi and said with a smile,
Teacher Chu, there was a question in the previous test we had a bit of a problem with.
When you have time, please help us look at it. Chukai nodded. I suddenly felt a little angry for no reason. Chukai took 2 steps, found that I couldn't keep up, turned back to look at me. What's wrong? I tried to hold it in, but I couldn't. Nothing, just think Teacher Chu is really awesome. Even though he teaches physics, math teachers also have to ask for his help. Chukai put one hand in his pocket. It was normal. I taught a lot before. It's hard not to remember. I was once taught a math problem 13 times by Chukai because I was bad at math. I felt ashamed and angry. The little joy of coming here completely vanished. I shouldn't have come. That's right. Teaching stupid students like me is definitely not as fun as teaching smart people, right? As soon as he finished speaking, Chukai quietly looked at me, saying nothing. My heart skipped a beat. Dead. My last sentence sounded a bit sour. You don't think I'm jealous, do you? Chukai nodded. It's true about Depien is easier to teach than me. Whew. At that moment, I didn't know whether to feel hurt because I was told that my ex was hard to forget, or embarrassed because I was called stupid. So I chose to run away. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll go first, Mr. Chu. Wait. Chukai gave me the phone and added WeChat. My heart suddenly beat faster. Then he said, I will send you a summary of the knowledge and test questions from the past few days so you can help Dipyen review them. 12th graders are not allowed to use phones. I don't feel like scanning the code and pressing add friend. Thank you, Mr. Chu. Please take care of my brother. Chukai pressed agree. The screen displayed a line of text. I have accepted your friend request. Now we can start chatting. Phone cycle, nothing. I don't know when the cycle of changing numbers and WeChat started. Anyway, we haven't been in contact for many years. When we broke up, I never thought we would one day become friends again. His personal page has no content, just like him, cold and distant. I scrolled for a while until Depien couldn't help but call. Sister, can I see the knowledge points that Teacher Chu sent now? I pouted and gave the phone to him. My mother was sitting next to me peeling bananas. Hearing that, she couldn't help but say something. Oh my, the homeroom teacher of Yuran is really good. Sheng, you can treat her a meal in the future. When I was in love early, maybe because Jochi was a good student, the teachers didn't react harshly. They just called us to talk privately and considered it as tacit acceptance. It's not like Yuran was caught and had her parents called. So my parents didn't know that the person was Jochi. Forget it, Mom. Teachers don't accept gifts now. My mother took out a banana and was about to give it to me. How can this be called a gift? That teacher really helped our family a lot. Without him, Yuran's grades would definitely drop. Yuran blurted out, That's right, and your sister too. If it weren't for the homeroom teacher that year, with her results, how could she have gotten such a high score on the final college entrance exam? Well said. Don't say it again next time. My parents were both surprised. Yuran knew she had misspoken and quietly lowered her head and continued doing her homework. I really couldn't stand it. I had no choice but to give a brief explanation. After listening, my mother suddenly asked, So is he still single now? My mother started to get excited. Mom, met him at the parent-teacher meeting. He's handsome and a perfect fit for our family. Good job, good personality. Who wouldn't want someone like that? If he's still single, you two can try again. No blind dates out there can compare to someone whose background you know so well. I wanted to let this matter go for a long time, but my mother brought it up every 2 or 3 days. A week later, Depien returned to school, but the conversation between me and Chukai still stopped at the last physics problem set he sent. It was always Depien who asked questions. He only occasionally replied with voice messages. I secretly scrolled down and turned on all those dialogues to listen. After listening, I felt so weird, so I quickly opened the last PDF file to divert my attention. 3 minutes later, I logged out, unable to help but mumble, This question is too difficult. After saying that, I realized it was not right. Then I only realized how absent-minded I was and accidentally sent a voice message. I can say I have never retracted a message so quickly in my life. Then the other side sent a message that was unclear. Oh my God, I'd rather die. I have thought of 1,000 ways to take the initiative to talk to Chukai. Just not thought of this way. I decided to give up and send a random sticker of a grinning cat. Teacher Chu, my whole family is very grateful to you for taking care of Depien during this time. I wonder when you're free, let me invite you to a meal.
Chukai didn't ask why I avoided the previous question and texted back very quickly. Today is the 12th grade homeroom teacher. Is everyone free? But people have said so. I dare not refuse. Okay, what would you like to eat? Chicken stewed in Japanese double-boiled water. Chukai hot pot go. I was a little surprised. Chukai eats quite bland food, and I'm not happy without spicy food. But I don't want to be sentimental, so I'll just answer briefly. Okay, see you at 7 p.m. The weather has started to warm up recently, but the atmosphere in the restaurant is still very bustling. Accept our table. Order and then be silent. I never thought I would have a day where I would eat alone with a cycle like this. Playing on the phone is rude, talking is useless. Luckily, the staff was quite enthusiastic. My restaurant is having a promotion. If you two join, you will receive a gift. Guess the idiom? I can play. Excited to accept. So the staff brought out a plate of cabbage. What am I? Cheerleading staff. I can also try to guess. Chukai slightly raised his eyelids to look over. White hair and 100 years of happiness together. The staff guessed correctly. This is a gift from the restaurant, and here is a small gift too. I wish you two a happy and peaceful life. Grow old together. There is no wish in this world that makes people more embarrassed than wishing a couple who have broken up to grow old together. I awkwardly explained, actually, we're not. Thank you. Chukai interrupted me and gave me that small gift. I took it, unconsciously. I'm grown up. Why do I play these things? Chukai held out his hand. Then give it back to me. I put it in my pocket and gave it to Dipyan. It seemed that the corner of Chukai's lips slightly curved up. Then I realized how stupid my previous action was. My old face turned red to my ears. The waiter gave a kind smile and left. Just then, I heard someone calling me Dipyan. Yes. I reflexively raised my head and saw a strange young man standing in front of me, looking at me with surprise. Long time no see. You are more and more beautiful. I was a little confused. He was the smile on the other person's face froze. Chukai's voice rang out faintly. My ex. Sometimes I feel like this world is really strange. I don't understand why I met my senior who I knew for 3 days in college at a restaurant. I don't even understand why I can't even recognize his face, but Chukai is so clearly familiar. I hesitated for a second. Sorry, my memory is really bad. The other guy's face got even worse. He quickly said goodbye and left. I couldn't help but glance at Chukai. His face was still calm. His mood was unpredictable. But for some reason, I felt guilty about that. I really don't remember who he is. Chukai nodded. Don't remember which person. This man of few words now knows how to make people choke. I was starting to get angry too. But looking at Chukai that way, I only dared to mumble softly that I didn't remember. Chukai picked up a slice of beef and put it in his bowl. Why am I so petty? When we used to eat together, the first bite was mine by default, especially dishes like hot pot, grilled, seafood, and all kinds. I don't have to do anything, just hold clicks and eat. Chukai pretended not to hear. I angrily picked up an even bigger piece of beef and muttered, You're still lecturing me. I didn't say anything. Chukai paused and looked up. What set of questions do you want to do? I can teach you any time. I used one myself. Teacher Chu said that is not good. After that, we both fell silent.
Before, every time Chu Ki pulled me to do an essay, he would say this. I refused to let him play dirty tricks. Playing dirty usually ends up with holding hands, and that's it. Sometimes doing the right thing gets you a hug. The old scene returned. The people involved only felt regret, extreme regret. I used Diep Nien as a shield again. Talking to students, I can always say a few sentences. In the middle, I received a message from Leo Feifei. Honey, do you want to go barbecue? I sent a photo over. Willow Feifei? So, will love really fade? But then she realized something. Wait, who is that person sitting across from you? I have to confess, my parents told me to invite him to a meal. Thank you for taking care of Diep Nien during the past time. Leo Feifei, you are so beautiful. I, Leo Feifei, was born without a brain. Leo Feifei, let me see how much your brain weighs. Oh, Leo Feifei, how did that guy treat you before? Have you forgotten everything? Do you still talk between the two of you? How? More. Now, you put down your chopsticks, stand up, and go home. Fifi, do you think there is any possibility that he still likes me? Willow Feifei? Then I found out this girl blacklisted me. Thanks. I put down the phone, gathered all my courage, and looked up at Chukai. Chukai, how did you know that person earlier? He raised his eyes slightly to look at me. I could hear my heart pounding. Even I myself was not sure what I was expecting from him at that moment. I entered another university cycle. Even though we would occasionally drop by each other's schools, I'm sure he didn't have the chance to get to know the other person. There is only one possibility. Does that matter? Chukai asked me back. I was stunned. Dioptron. His eyes deepened, his lips pursed under the warm light, his delicate face seemed to have the image of the young man from years ago. The important thing is that he is jealous. I rushed straight to Liu Feifei's house that night. Liu Feifei looked at me like I was a hopeless creature. So this guy just needed to turn around and you would forgive him? I spread my arms out on the bed. I don't know either. I know we can't go back to the way we were. What happened, happened. But he is the cycle that I, Dioptren, have liked since I was 16 years old. Actually, our breakup was much longer than the time we were together. I used to think time would fade everything, but only now do I realize those memories are not the same. The days without you, the moment you said that sentence, everything seemed compressed, light, repeated over and over, but the memories he had were so vivid and intense. Actually, after breaking up, every time I think back to when we were together, I still feel like he used to like me. He knew that I went hungry all week just to buy soy milk for myself. Then he bought me breakfast every morning. I studied forever but couldn't get it. I felt stupid, but he never got angry. Do you remember Tran Wanwan? Back then, she secretly put stickers on her desk. Actually, I'm not afraid of those things, but Chu Kai still got angry. It was the first time I saw his face so cold. After that, until the university entrance exam was over, Tran Wanwan had to take a detour when she met me. Not only that, when we were together, I was always casual, always seeing only the cycle. Just a little indifference from you, I will exaggerate infinitely. But after breaking up, thinking back, I realized there were so many small details that I had overlooked. Liu Feifei thought for a long time, rubbed my face, and said, "What kind of luck did this man meet you? How about this? Let him pursue you again. You just keep in contact for a while. It's best for the two of you to talk things out clearly before deciding whether to get back together or not." I gave her a quick kiss on the cheek, just as I wanted. Ideals are pink, reality is gray. Never expect a 12th grade homeroom teacher to have a lot of time and energy for you. After the day he released those ambiguous words, unfortunately, People's teacher Tru Kai did not start any fierce attacks on me. It's just that every time he sent Diep Nien's report card to my parents, he sent me a separate copy. Sometimes when talking about some knowledge, I discovered that I was wrong in the past and Diep Nien is now. The difference is, Diep Nien corrected it right away the first time, while I needed many times. I argued, and finally couldn't argue back, so I got angry. Teacher Chu, do people in science majors all have such good memories? Chu Kai has been busy with midterm exams recently and only replied at night. I remember everything related to you. It's already March, and Diep Nien is about to have her coming-of-age ceremony. Chu Kai sent me a personal invitation. I pretended to be shy. My parents are going to. I don't need to come, right? Chu Kai called me directly. I jumped out of bed like Lam Dai Deech. Lately, we still talk occasionally. He sends good morning and good night wishes every day as a habit. But this is the first time he took the initiative to call me. I coughed a few times, regained my composure, sat up straight, and pressed the accept button. The phone signal was very weak and could be heard even more clearly in the quiet of the night. He didn't say anything for a long time, so I had to speak first. "Mr. Chu?" Finally, he spoke, his voice deep and harsh, but as light as a feather brushing past his ear, tickling and tickling. "I want to see you," he said. The next day, I went to school with my parents. Diep Nien looked at me from head to toe. "Are you going on a blind date later?" "Diep Nien, don't force me and you on this happy day." Nha Trung School is a provincial key school. The coming-of-age ceremony is held very solemnly.
17 and 18-year-old boys and girls are full of life and youthful energy. I took a few pictures of Diep Nien, but when I turned around, the boy was gone. A moment later, the boy secretly pulled me aside. Please take a picture for us. Next to the kid is Thu Hugh. Perhaps because there were many people around, the two children kept a small distance apart, feeling shy and embarrassed. I raised my hand to signal OK. In the picture behind them is a beautiful flower gate. A flash of memory flooded back to me. Actually, my 12th grade year and Chu Kai Trong also held a coming-of-age ceremony. Coincidentally, that day was his 18th birthday. After taking the photo, Diep Nien stood next to me. "What are you thinking about that makes you so absent-minded?" I came to my senses and clicked my tongue. "I'm thinking your kid isn't that brave. Take pictures from a kilometer away?" Diep Nien coughed and scratched his head. "Their parents came too." "Oh." "Yeah, that year my parents also attended the coming-of-age ceremony. Chu Kai's parents were busy and couldn't come, so they gave me the opportunity to take action. I pulled him up to the terrace. "Chu Kai, I have a birthday present for you." Chu Kai's pitch-black eyes looked over. He's always been the same, not expressing much, cold and quiet. Even though the schoolyard was bustling, confetti was flying, even that day was his birthday. "Have I available to avoid you flown?" he asked softly. I suppressed my heart pounding and stood on tiptoe to kiss him. That was the first time I kissed him. At first, I was just going to kiss him and run, but I don't know why, that day he grabbed my hand and hugged me so tightly and kissed back, naive but filled with passionate, suppressed emotions. Then he asked me, "Can you be with me every year on my birthday?" I replied blankly, "I get to kiss you every year?" Then I agree. Honestly, at that time, I could only laugh stupidly. Now thinking back, it was truly a dark past story. Poor Chu Kai. His first love was a girl who was crazy about love like me. Just as I was feeling emotional, a familiar, soft female voice rang out from behind. "Teacher True, let's take a souvenir photo too." I turned around and saw the math teacher standing in front of Chu Kai, smiling brightly. It seemed like they had just taken pictures with the students, so this request sounded reasonable. I clutched the phone. All morning I was busy with this and that, but this man hardly glanced at me. Now he wants to take pictures with another woman? Yesterday he said he wanted to see me. Chu Kai seemed to sense something and looked up at me. The other teacher also turned to glare, handed over her phone, smiled, and said, "Ms. Diep, please take a picture for me." Before I could reply, Chu Kai said no. The air was awkward.
The teacher clearly didn't expect Chu Ki to refuse so bluntly, and it was because of me. She was stunned and said, "Then let me ask Mr. Vong to take the picture for me." "No need, not convenient," Chu Ki replied. The teacher was confused, still holding her phone in the air, embarrassed. "What?" Chu Ki looked at me for a long time, his black eyes deep, but his words were directed at her. I'm pursuing her, so I don't want her to misunderstand. "Mom?" Lu Feifei's eyes widened and her mouth opened wide. This man is so direct. I nodded frantically. Before it was me who chased after him, now it's the other way around. How can I stand it? "No, you have to be strong." Lu Feifei stood on the spot and turned around twice, saying, "Seriously, she cannot be charmed by a man's handsome appearance. She must continue to challenge him." I paused for a moment and then nodded repeatedly. They are in charge of grade 12 now and are quite busy with Deep Yin's university entrance exam. I also have to keep myself in check, at least until the exam is over. Lu Feifei silently glanced at me. "You pursued him for almost 3 years. Now he's pursued you for 3 months, and you've already given up?" I took out a random photo from my phone of Chu Ki standing on the gymnasium with students. In the crowd, he still shines brightly. Lu Feifei hesitated for 3 seconds. "Okay, this face, this body, must be enjoyed while young."
Speaking of this, she suddenly leaned closer, her face full of curiosity. Tell me, have you two been together before? Do not have. I let go. He wouldn't take 10 tests for a handshake. Just thinking about it, you can see how difficult my path has been. Lu Fei, I'll think about it for a while. After the college entrance exam, I'll find time to have a serious talk with him. High school seems like a long time, but a few months before the college entrance exam feels like a fast-forward button. In the blink of an eye, it's the beginning of hot summer. June, college entrance exam. The cycle in charge of taking students to exams. I am a parent of a student. Of course I have to go too. Teacher Chu Dipian said the class will have a party tonight. Are you going too? Chu Ki put one hand in his pocket. If he didn't go, they would be more comfortable. Oh. I coughed lightly. So are you free tonight? He looked over for a moment, then said, Yes. I have something to tell you. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the last exam ended. Students rushed out like a tide. Everyone's face was either smiling or crying, saying goodbye to their youthful thong years. I sent a red envelope to Deep Yin and immediately withdrew from the scene. Of course, the kid's teacher, Chu Deep Yin, was also dragged along. Cough, it's a bit difficult to find a good place to eat at this time. While Chuki went to park the car, I took the opportunity to go to the store to get a queue number. Unexpectedly, I met Li Tu-heng at the right time. He glanced behind me with some surprise. Deep Trin, are you and Ki back together? I was about to say no, but he let out a soft sigh and said with a smile, No wonder. I am a little confused. No wonder what? No wonder he's been in a good mood lately. I thought it was because his class students got high scores on the mock test. Why do I feel it's not true? Now I know it's because of you. Li Tu-heng sighed. Ever since his mother passed away, he had never felt so comfortable. I was startled. What did you say? His mother is dead? Li Tu-heng also was surprised. Don't you know? It's been years. He didn't tell you? My heart felt like it was being squeezed by a hand, making it difficult to breathe. I opened my mouth with difficulty. When did that happen? Li Tu-heng did not expect that I really did not know. Felt like he had misspoken. If Ki hasn't said anything yet, then I'll stop. Anyway, the two of you are back together. You'll know sooner or later. He thought for a moment. I remember it was around the second semester of his first year. It seems in early May, his mother committed suicide by taking medicine, so he took a week off. When he turned back, the person was emaciated. He paused for a moment. Didn't the two of them break up after that? So I thought you knew about it. The first year of university, early May, was the time I had an accident, so I didn't dare to think about it anymore. I suddenly realized how unfairly I had treated Chuki. There is no parking spot. I parked outside, so I'll be a bit late. Chuki walked over and sat down across from me. His eyes stopped on my face. His voice became low and gentle. What's up? I bowed my head. Nothing. Just some things I don't know. He took the menu. This place has delicious dried chili chicken, spicy beef too. I suddenly asked, Have you eaten it all? Chuki paused for a moment. I ate with colleagues twice. I said nothing. Chuki can't eat spicy. Even when he goes to eat hot pot, he only eats mushroom or tomato hot pot. I sometimes like to tease him, intentionally eating all the chili and then kissing him, making him blush and have to drink milk like crazy. When eating out with colleagues, he absolutely does not take the initiative to order these spicy dishes and does not eat them often. I ordered stir-fried vegetables and a portion of pumpkin soup and hesitated for a long time before speaking. That's right. You said you had something to tell me before. Chuki seemed to be thinking about how to start the conversation. I don't know if you still want to hear it now, but I think I owe you an explanation for what happened back then." He was silent for a moment, as if he was sorting through the chaotic memories of the past. He was an illegitimate child. My heart trembled. I couldn't help but look up at him. His face was very calm, as if he was telling a story that had nothing to do with him. After his mother was pregnant with him, he turned around and married a woman from the same family. In his memory, he only met him once at his mother's funeral. At that moment, I suddenly understood a lot of things. For example, why does a child of heaven often go to the rooftop to smoke? For example, why is Chuki's seat always empty at parent-teacher meetings? For example, why was it that on my coming-of-age day, when I said I wanted to give him a birthday present, he was stunned, then firmly asked me if I would celebrate his birthday with him every year? At that time, Chuki lowered his eyes, his long eyelashes falling down, creating a shadow. I dare not tell you these things. I have never liked a girl like that. It was so hard to wait for her to like me. If she knows this, what if she doesn't like me anymore? What should I do? I clenched my fists. After the university entrance exam, his mother went to see him once, and when she came back, her condition was serious, and she needed a lot of money for medicine. Chuki's voice was gentle, telling the story of a few years ago as if it were from a previous life. At that time, he was very worried. He tried to help his supervisor with his thesis and tried to work part-time. I'm afraid I cannot protect my mother and cannot protect you. But then she still left him. My hands clenched until they ached, and I finally asked, "When was that?" Chuki was silent for a long time. I tried my best to control myself, but my voice was still shaking. "So that day I texted you, you didn't reply. I called you, but you didn't pick up. Did I say goodbye to you that day?" Chuki still said nothing. I remembered something else. "Did you come to find me afterwards?" Chuki turned the glass of water around. After a long time, he finally nodded slightly. Blah. He finished everything, intending to go back to find me to explain clearly, but saw me walking with another male student. I asked softly, "Then why didn't you question me? You clearly know how much I like you. Chuki, as long as you speak up, you don't want to be too selfish." Chuki said, "You always want to make sure that I really like you, making me repeatedly prove that no matter what, I will never leave you. But that day, I suddenly realized that I was not worthy of you. You are very good. No one is better than you. So you deserve to be loved by everyone like the stars surrounding the moon, not just staying by my side and enduring hardships." My voice started to choke up. "It's not like that, Chuki. It's not like that. I like you. I never felt miserable with you. You can't judge me like that. That's not fair to me." Tears finally could not be held back and rolled down. "You can't be like that."
You made me leave the person I love the most without knowing anything. I dare not imagine how Chu-Ki will react when he receives that breakup message. I promised you I would celebrate every birthday with you, but I couldn't do it. At that moment, I really didn't know who to blame for all of this. A look of panic flashed through Chu-Ki's eyes. Don't cry. He has always been confident in everything, rarely confused like this. I wiped my tears, my eyes red as I looked at him. "So why did you not say anything when you wanted to break up with me so many years ago, and why did you say it today?" Chu-Ki pursed his lips for a moment and then said, "I tried to quit smoking, tried not to love you, but I couldn't. Quitting smoking was easy when you were still around, but when you weren't around, love grew more and more crazily. Are you still willing to stay with Chu-Ki?" What happened next? Leo Feifei looked at me with tears in her eyes. Thinking about how she told me to be strong before, I guiltily held out the ring on my hand to show her. "Boo-hoo," Liu Feifei cried louder. "This diamond ring is huge. Have you guys set a wedding date yet?" Liu Feifei said while wiping her tears. "Can I choose my bridesmaid's dress first?" My parents were happy as if they were having a festival. Only my younger brother had a complicated expression. "I didn't expect that by taking the university entrance exam, I would find a husband for you. If I think about it seriously, you don't need to worry about us breaking up before the exam anymore. Anyway, we got married after finishing college." If you tell me this, I will not be praised as a glorious and great sister. My brother, you go. Have you decided on your high school party table list yet? I get closer to the cycle. All the classmates were surprised when they received the invitation. That's right, the last time someone in class got married, we were like enemies, but in the blink of an eye, we were getting married. Their reaction wasn't too much. Almost done. Chuki showed me the list. I pointed to a name, Tran Wang Wang. Where? Chuki raised his eyebrows. I thought you didn't like her. I really don't like it. Because I don't like it, I have to invite it. Last time people asked where Mr. Wee, I wrinkled my nose and she had to declare her sovereignty. Chuki nodded in agreement. Okay, he said as he picked me up. I am Mr. Chu, what are you doing? Chuki put his hand on my waist. Don't you want to declare sovereignty? Let me declare whatever I want. Already. He suddenly stopped. I blushed and looked at him, finding him looking at the scar on my left knee. I'm a little shy, now I can't see clearly anymore. He kissed it, his breath hot. I trembled slightly, unable to utter the remaining words. Finally had to struggle to breathe during the pause. I whispered in his ear, Chuki, I really like you. Hold me tighter. Me too. Thank you for loving Chuki. Chuki's side story. Since I was little, I knew I was an unnecessary existence. I had never met my father. My mother said I was very similar to him, so sometimes she treated me very well, but most of the time she looked at me with eyes of resentment and hatred. No one knew about this. No one from my parents attended school on my behalf. Happily, my grades were good enough. I made up some excuse and the teachers let me off. On the first day of school in 10th grade, my mother had another fit of breaking things in the house. I was late for school, but I didn't care. Hey, classmate, a girl called me from behind. I turned around. She was stunned, her face red. I've seen this expression many times, but her next sentence was beyond my expectations. We're going to be late. She hurriedly pointed to the right. I'll divert them. You can climb the wall from this side. She doesn't seem like the others. It was only later that I learned that she wasn't just slightly different, but completely different. She is one of a kind. I know she left soy milk on my desk for a week because every time I drank it, she always looked over here with expectant eyes. She is looking at the soy milk carton. I know the love letter in the physics book was written by her because she slipped it into my book right in front of the whole class during self-study when I went to compete. I know her bicycle tire was punctured by herself and took a lot of effort, so I had to wait outside the garage for a few minutes. I can't be with her. If she agrees right away, will she fall in love quickly and then fall out of love quickly? The first time she confessed, I almost nodded. In the end, all the strength was used to suppress. I didn't say a word. She complained many times after that. She didn't know I didn't dare open my mouth because if she said it, I would definitely agree. I know she chose the science class because of me, but with that result, after the university entrance exam, we will definitely share. But she wants to be with me. She once said, Yep, Chin-chan is mine. I am also hers. Thinking of this, I think more heavily. I like her very much. All these years, there is nothing I like more. I'm so busy, I'm so tired, but I don't want to tell her. She is always innocent and happy. She shouldn't be sad and heartbroken because of someone like me. When I got her text message at the hospital, I thought maybe I was really wrong. It's not that she can't leave me, it's that I can't leave her. In the years without her, I started smoking again. I returned to the city where she lived. I ate at all the Sichuan restaurants in the city, spicy to the throat. In my head, there was only one thought. Would she like it? I thought I did very well. I thought I could stay like this forever. Until that day I met her, she was still the same as in high school. No makeup, incredibly beautiful. I think maybe I'm just a very selfish person. I want to try it once. Chuki has nothing in hand. Chuki only loves Yep-chan.